basically, when we were developing the story nun, along with some of my friends, parang I really wanted to create something out of the usual short films na napapanood natin. I didn't want to go overly on poverty or on, maraming mga genres and stories na somehow may pagkakaparehas. And with my film back then, I really wanted to do something a bit different. So, okay, why not let's go fantasy? So, tapos nung time na yon, it was also the time of magic realism, at least with Neil Gaiman and all of that. So parang, okay, let's try a bit. Although walang budget for fantasy, somewhere close to that. More or less yung feature, pinaka-aspect na yun, really focused more on children and dreams and how dreams could be used as an escape route to whatever extent. So kumbaga, on this case, in this film, may good yung outcome ng dreams na yun. It was sort of like going through the 5 stages of acceptance, if I remember correctly. Parang yun yung pinaka-structure na pinuntahan namin. And bottom line, what the film wanted to say was, let's not take our dreams as is lang. It could mean something bigger. It could mean it could be a way for you to move on forward kung ano man pinagdadaanan mo. It could also be interpreted with a grain of salt. Kasi those are just dreams. It could be just manifestations of what we're thinking and how we're feeling at that moment. Especially, yun, usaping dreams, deep sleep. So meaning it could be just be ramblings of the mind, or basically, binuo lang siya ng mga utak natin at that moment. During that time, at least yung pinaka-proseso ng paggawa namin nun, I really wanted to focus more on the story because I'm more of a technical person. I like telling stories, pero hindi talaga ako writer. When we talk about cinematography, sound, visual effects, production design, kayang-kaya yun. But then, for me, that film, yung pinaka-challenge doon was actually telling the story on how I saw it come to life. Of course, everything starts out so big and so grand na parang you go back to reality and say, okay, hanggang dito lang yung kaya. Pero it should still serve the purpose and not compromise the story. So, back then, ang film na to was really more of a challenge to me to writing, more on the writing end and on the storytelling end and less on the technicals. Direction with actors was easy. I've worked with very professional actors back then. I was even asking advice from them, okay, more or less, paano mo siya gagawin kung ganito yung eksena. Because I really wanted all of the actions of the actors back then, close to reality, close to how we should be doing it and not too overly dramatic. Cinematography, I was a photographer back then, so it was quite easy for me to shift from stills to video. But also during that time, it was exciting kasi that was the time when film was shifting out and digital was coming in. So, usaping HD, kung may budget ka, HD ka. Kung hindi, you go back to SD. And if I remember correctly, most of the panels were asking me, what did you shoot on? Bakit parang 16mm or parang 35 film yung itsura ng pelikula mo? And then, at the back of my head, parang 24p video camera lang po yan. It's really more on the lighting and the framing and the movement, which makes a big difference. Production design, we experimented with a lot of materials. Production designer ko noon was a very, very good friend from Fine Arts. We experimented with fiberglass, resin, with metals. We did most of the construction work. We had our hands burned from creating fiberglass props. We had a few props na naalon ng tubig kasi nga the actor came late because of distance issues, ganyan. So, ang daming challenges na pinagdaanan nung time na yun. Especially sound. Sound was let's just say, one of the least thought of, at least for my film back then, because to me, although I'm a sound designer and a sound recordist, back then it was, okay na yan, basta marinig ko yung dialogue, you know, we had the boom mic as close as possible, safe na tayo. Ayun. So, other challenges would be, editing. Nung dumating na ng editing, I thought I created the perfect 20-minuter, and then nung napanood siya ng aking mentor, parang, wait lang, baguhin natin yung cutting nito, i-re-edit mo ng buo yan. You know, let's make this as perfect as possible, and don't be disheartened, don't be discouraged, this is part of the process. Parang, yung words na yon really rang throughout the years of me working in the industry na editing is a process. It's not as simple as just, you know, cutting everything and placing everything all at once. It's really getting the beat, getting the story, being able to tell the story well. You know, most people think na editing is sort of like a cut-to-cut thing lang. Pero there's the beauty behind it. If you feel that the story was told well and you don't feel the cuts happening in between, hindi siya biglaan or it fits the whatever storytelling style that comes in, then the editing was done well. Yun. So other things, yun. Sound design, color grading, visual effects. We tried as much na gawin dun sa small film na yun, and I think that sort of paved the way na career-wise, at least on my end, because yun na nga, I do own a post house now, I still make films, and tulad ng linya namin sa isa't isa before, sa mga colleagues ko nun, sa mga batchmates, was gawa lang ng gawa. Nothing beats, you know, being on the field and going through sleepless nights and, you know, making sure na yung obra mo perfect siya to how you want it to be shown, and not really think about kung kikita ba siya or will it appease your audience as much as you would want. You know, it's really more about telling the story and hoping na they get where you come from and they enjoy it as well, of course. Storytelling wise, I mean, when I came up with the story, most people would ask me kung ako ba yung bata. Nawalan ka na ba ng nanay? Actually, my mom is still alive and well. I just placed myself on that certain situation na, okay, what if nawala? More or less, kung bata pa ako, how would I react? Ganito ba siya most likely, or would it be over the top? Then, yung dreams within the story itself, let's just say, those are the most common things that a child would go through. You know, dadaanin niya sa, gusto kong pumunta ng perya, gusto kong pumunta ng dagat, gusto kong pumunta ng, gusto kong makita yung nanay ko, I want to eat a lot of food, gusto kong may party, ganyan. And then, yung pinaka-climax mo doon would be, may kakalabanin kang halimaw or villain or something. In this case, it was a big typhoon daw. Yung context kasi ng story was created in such a way na storybook level siya. So, if you watch the film, it will start with a short animation and then somehow magta-transcend siya into real action or live action. And then at the near end, mag-transition back to yung storybook. So when we polished the story, parang kailangan siyang maging ganun, maging storybook. It was a film made for children to enjoy. It was a film for adults to understand as well. In the case of more or less kung pinagdaanan ko na ba siya, I did have dreams back then, but then hindi siya more about perya, hindi rin siya about the beach, because those are two things na, for example, beach, I was always at the beach, given yun. Yung perya, I only experienced yung perya when I was in college na, because I grew up somewhere else. So, it was challenging in such a way na I needed to dive into how people saw these things, or how children saw the beauty behind being in small fairs, or yung mga maliliit na perya. Kasi ako, when I grew up, wala yun nung panahon ko. It was all about parang Enchanted Kingdom, Disneyland, ganyan. But then, pag usaping perya, college na lang na, okay, medyo na-enjoy ko siya. Ganyan, UP Fair, ganyan. And yung mga rides and yung mga games, yung mga board games. I only found that out on my research dito sa story na to. Yung significance ng chicken inasal at saka ng spaghetti is so big dito sa kultura natin na most of us just, part na yan eh. Kumbaga, but then, on my end, growing up in a different country, ibang usapan yun. It wasn't just about chicken inasal or lechon manok or spaghetti lang. It was more to that. So, all in all, these small details at least gave me a different view of how I should look back into my own culture, and hopefully nabigyan ko naman siya ng justice siguro. Ganyan. And yung idea na si E.G. Boy mismo, na natuwa siya sa script at the first draft, which I thought was really crappy. As we went along with the shooting days, we had like 2 or almost 3 shooting days nun. We constantly changed it according to how the actors would see it on their own perspective. I remember si Simone Ibarra telling me na, Direk, itong part na to na papagalitan ko yung bata, dito kasi hindi ganito yung flow niyan usually. Baka sa inyo ganun, pero dito kasi, yun. So, I constantly had suggestions coming from these people who grew up here in the Philippines. So that helped a lot with the formation of the story, or at least with the polishing of the story as we shot along the way. Don't be afraid to take risks. Kumbaga, kung sinasabi nila na hindi yan yung paraan, just do it according to how you feel it should be done. And hopefully, magta-transcend yan pababa na, okay, may certain art behind it. Because I remember back then, when we were still shooting in SD na in standard definition, na parang, hindi na magpa-fly yung HD kasi may film ka na, may 35, may 16. It's gonna be a whole different way of storytelling. And kami naman, what we did was we held onto as much as we can. Kumbaga, I still shot in film, I shot in digital video, and then I shot in HD. And then, it didn't stop me from telling the stories. Kasi, bottom line is just the format. It's just the technicality. What's more important is what you intend to say to your audience. And I guess any format would do. Others would still shoot in high 8 or digital 8 and still have a great story out in the end. So, yun. Huwag matakot gumawa. Gawa lang ng gawa. And don't be afraid.
Noong unang panahon, sa isang malawak na kaharian, masayang naninirahan ang hari, reyna, at ang munting prinsipe. Sa ika-10 kaarawan ng prinsipe, ang reyna ay nagregalo ng kapang asul. Nalaman niya na ang kapang ito ang makakapagdala sa kanya sa lugar ng mga nagliliparang kabayo at mga diwatang nakaupo sa mga bituin. Ngunit, may isang lugar na hindi pa niya napupuntahan at nais makita. Ito ang malaking bahay na may aninag na sinlakas ng araw tuwing gabi. Napaisip ang prinsipe at binalak na maglakbay sa mahiwagang lugar. Hindi na nagpaalam ang prinsipe sa kanyang mga magulang nang biglang may dumating na malakas na ipo-ipo sa kaharian. Sinisira ng ipo-ipo na ito ang lahat ng madadaan. Hinagip ng ipo-ipo ang nahulog na reyna. Sinubukan sagipin ng prinsipe ang kanyang ina. At siya'y lumipad ng lumipad
Tonton! Gising na! Kakain tayo almusal, huy! Anak, buhayin mo nga yung ilaw.
Papa! May carnival po malapit sa barangay. Pwede po ba tayo pumunta?
Tingnan natin. Marami kasi akong ginagawa ngayon eh.
Papa, ang tagal-tagal na natin hindi pumupunta sa beach. Pwede ba tayo pumunta sa beach pagkatapos ng mga ginagawa, no?
Tingnan natin sa bakasyon. Saka malapit na ang summer, anak. Kasi ngayon, medyo busy pa ang papa mo.
Papa, di ba nung nandito pa si Mama, lagi tayo lumalabas?
Naayos mo na ba ang kwarto mo?
Hindi pa po. Pero po, di ba po na nandito pa si Mama, lagi tayo lumalabas?
Ayusin mo muna ang kwarto mo, ha? Tapos gawin mo yung assignment mo. Para hindi ka nagmamadali kapag Lunes. Umpisa na mawala ang mama mo. Hindi ka nag-aaral na mabuti. Oh, ilak mo yung pinto, ha? Pagkatapos, gawin mo yung assignment mo. Tapos linisin mo yung kwarto mo. Huwag mong kalimutan yung pinapagawa ko sa'yo.
He wants to put up a concert down in Manila. Hey, Amando, bro!
Shot lang, pare. Killjoy talaga.
Hoy! Mr. Steve Jones! Umaga, inuman na naman yan! Tumayo ka nga dyan, yung mga pinagdumihan mo kagabing nasukahan mo, hindi mo pa nilalaban-laban mo na!
Honey, we'll just drink a bit, okay? We'll do that later.
Ini-English mo pa ako, tigilan mo nga ako niya kaya English mo, kasama mo na itong mga kaibigan mong pulpul, inuubos nila naman ang tindahan ko.
Okay lang yun naman.
Itong gitarang to, itigil lang nga itong gitarang to, itatapon ko yan eh! Tumayo ka na dyan, yung mga anak mo, alagaan mo. Ako namamalengke para mamaya may lalamunin ka. Ayos ba yun? Ha? At ang mga beer dito na iniwan ko, bilang ko.
Ito lang.
Episode as part of our Valentine month.
Nagpatuloy ang munting prinsipe sa pagpunta sa mga lugar na nakwento sa kanya para hanapin ang mahal na reyna.
sorry. Pinapalalunan ko lang ang larong yun. Hindi na sana nila ako iniwan.
Hello po. Pakita niyo po ba yung nanay kong dumaan?
Bakit pa kasi yung larong yun?
Ba't po kayo malungkot?
Dahil I'm such a loser.
Hindi pa po carnival to. Bakit walang merry-go-round?
Pinapalalunan ko lang yung larong yun. Hindi sana hindi nila kinuha yung merry-go-round. Alam ko na. Tara! Sama ka sa akin, may naisip ako. Tara! Oo! Naman tayo! Hindi ako dahil dito. Hindi ko may tapat yung tapong ko sa...
Huwag kayo mag-alala. Gagawin ko lang to para lang sa'yo. Yay! Na-shoot ka! Yay!
Salamat! Salamat! Makikita ko na ulit sila! Yan! Come on! Here we go! Yan lang! Ito na! Pulimino!
Ayoko na!
pala? Maaari bang mahanap mo ang mahiwagang starfish ko doon sa may dagat? Kapag wala kasi yung mahiwagang bagay na yun, hindi ako makakapag-ensayo ng mabuti. Nawala ko kasi yun nang maligo ako kanina. Pag tinulungan mo ako, ituturo ko kung asa ng nanay mo.
Ano ba yung binilaw sa ilalim ng dagat?
Oo, sige na, hanapin mo na. Ay, maganda siguro kung hanapin mo na rin ang bracelet ko.
Pero ang hinahanap ko!
Sige na. Hanapin mo ng bracelet ko. Magaling. Ngayon, hanapin mo yung mga perlas ko. Magiging mas maaliwalas ako habang kumakanta ako. Hindi ba? Sige na!
Wow! Ang ganda! Laki! Wow! Uy!
Tonton! Sumama ka na sa akin, Tonton! Wala na si Mama! Sumama ka na sa akin! Bilis!
Kumain ka! Nakakita ko lang kanya kanina! Di ba, Oman? Di mo binibigay sa akin lahat ng gusto mo!
Ang munting prinsipe ay hindi magpapatina sa mapinsalang ipo-ipo. Matapang ang munting prinsipe, hinarap niya ang ipo-ipo para maligtas ng kanyang ina at mahal na hari.
Tonton, gising na! Tonton!
Papa!
Tahan na. Andito lang papa mo. Bumangon ka na dyan. Kakain tayo. May dala akong manok.
Papa, alam mo ba na panaginip ako si Mama?
Talaga?
Opo, at saka si Mang Steve, naka-costume, at saka si Aling Josie. Alam mo, nasa carnival daw ako. Tapos, napunta ako sa dagat.
Ikaw talaga. Alam mo, mama mo, parang ikaw, mahilig din yun sa carnival. Kaya nga nung girlfriend ko pa lang siya, lagi ko siya pinapasyal doon. Saka sa beach, madalas din kami pumunta.
Papa, nakakailan ka na lang ba?
Huwag masahin mo po.
Gagawin ko mamaya, Mamis!
Very good. Total, yun naman bukas. Nakakaroon na yung assignment mo. Carnival. Ox ba yun?
sa ibang umaga. Nakatanga at nagtataka sa panahon sinayang kay bilis mong nagpaalam.